So guys, everyone has tasted these. They are delicious. Everyone likes them. And I just wanted to show you what a nice inside. I mean, it's just wonderful. And I could not be more happy with this recipe. I will include it in the description. But super tasty and super good for you. So these again are the sourdough sweet potato chocolate chip muffins. Randy here. Welcome back to my kitchen. This is Sewing Back. If you're new here, we are happy to have you. So it's evening. I had hoped to do this recipe earlier in the day. It is one I have been dying to make, but as y'all know, I got sick, didn't feel like making it, and now everyone else in my family is sick. I actually had to take another one to the doctor, and I have another one down with COVID. So I'm still here. So I wanted to get this made because we need something for breakfast. We're still in the pantry challenge, and one of the big things that will help you if you're doing the pantry challenge or if you're trying to conserve money and eating things that you might have on hand, where you can pull things together and pull a recipe together so that you can have a nutritious breakfast. Breakfast is really important. We're not normally going to eat leftover pot roast for breakfast. That's fine to do that for lunch. We eat a lot of leftovers for lunch, but breakfast is important. And so I have never made this before. I've been wanting to try it, and it is a sourdough sweet potato chocolate chip muffin. And I had my mill out. I milled me some Corzon wheat, which is also known as kamut wheat. It is an ancient grain. It is the least glutinous of the wheats. So if you're someone who tries to do more of a gluten light, or you're trying to venture into sourdough to go from being gluten-free to eating freshly milled grains, kamut is definitely the way to go. A lot of people swear about einkorn, and I do enjoy my jovial products, but I'm a much bigger fan of kamut. It's also much more affordable, as long as you can find a good resource for it. I have a good local resource for my kamut from the Breadbackers. I know they ship all over. I can put their link down in the description if you're interested in that. If you do not have a mill, you don't mill your wheat, you just have flour in your house, you can use any flour you want. If you're gluten-free, you can use gluten-free flour, okay? You just want to make sure you have a gluten-free flour that's like an all-purpose 1-to-1, all right? And it should work with this recipe just fine. As far as sweet potatoes go, because it's the pantry challenge, I have these, it's organic sweet potato puree. I have had a few of these on my shelf that I've been wanting to use, and I thought these would be perfect to make a muffin. And of course I have a cup of sourdough discard. Now, if you do not have sourdough, what I would recommend to still get that good gut health in there is increase your flour by half a cup and add half a cup of kefir. And I will put that in the description with my recipe. That should help give you some of those good pre and probiotics. But I have sourdough, so I will not be adding kefir to this. But I have done it with so many things, it just works interchangeably. We've got our freshly milled kamut. And we're going to go ahead and put our 2 cups of flour in here. I milled 2 cups of wheat berries, and I think it yields about 2.5 cups when you do that. I'm going to go ahead and put all my dry ingredients in here. So this is my cinnamon, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. I've already listed, and I will leave the recipe in the description. And I'm going to go ahead and put my, actually let me mix this first. This is a Danish dough whisk, and I love this tool. it is wonderful if you don't want to have to get out your mixer for everything, and certainly like something for muffins. It's not like you're really trying to do some big heavy dough. So, all right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my sugar. This was brown sugar, but you could use, if all you have is white sugar, use white sugar. Now, if you want to use like honey, I haven't tested that. I know it'll work, but you have to be careful with your liquids to your dry component ratio. So you kind of want to watch that if you were going to do that, or maple syrup. So just know you might have to play around with it. I haven't tested it that way. I'm trying to use up things I have in my pantry, and I actually had open the brown sugar. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our sourdough starter, and honestly, I think I'm gonna do my sweet potatoes next because I'm gonna need this little thing. Now, if you have a can of sweet potatoes, it's gonna say, this one was 15 point something ounces. The recipe calls for 2 cups. I'm saying it's close enough. I've done that with pumpkin and other things, and it's never been a problem, so I'm not too worried about it, because I'm not going to open a whole nother can for 1 ounce. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess maybe you could, if, I don't know, even if you were going to double it, you'd still be shy. So, all right, so I've got my sweet potato. Now we're going to add our sourdough starter. And I just want to say, I saw Cultures for Health that had another sale. You can buy any one of their sourdough starters. If you're local to the Georgia, Atlanta metro area, you can actually go to the Bread Backers, and she usually sells Cultures in their cooler local. She won't ship that. All right, so these are my eggs, and I went ahead and I put inside the eggs, these are fresh eggs, I put my homemade vanilla in here. I don't want to dirty up another dish. And that is my coconut oil. We'll move these out of the way. And now break the yolks. The last thing you'll fold in will be the chocolate chips. This is why I like the dough hit, or the Danish dough whisk, because a regular whisk, everything kind of gets clumped up in there. Like, I think it's fine for doing just eggs or something like that, or cream, you know, like if you're gonna do whipped cream or something by hand, but this thing, like, see, I'm holding it like it's a real tool. But do you see how easy this is to whip up? And you can do this the night before. And one thing that I have learned about, now I haven't done it with sweet potatoes, but I know with sweet potato pie, I like it cold, like the next day. That's just my preference. I'm kind of that way with pumpkin pie too. And so I know when I do pumpkin muffins and stuff, my family, they like them put in the refrigerator. Now, if you can see in here, you can, if you watch it, you'll start seeing these little pops. That is your live active cultures in your sourdough. And that's why I said, if you don't have sourdough, but you're wanting to get that kind of nutrition, try the kefir trick. Give it a shot. And because it has the same thing. Kefir is a pre and a probiotic. It has both, which is very good for you. As do whole grains. Whole grains have both. That's why they're so good for you. They get a bad rap because processed grains and grains that are in the store that have been stripped of all their nutrients, they are lacking. what you need. Sorry, I have everything but my spatula. All right, so now, as you can see, this is mixed. It looks really nice. So now, see when I mix it, you'll see them. You'll see all the little pops of gases. That's what you want. It helps you digest this, okay? So it is so good for your gut. And I promise you, you will not have the blood sugar spikes, even with the brown sugar that's in this. When you have fermentation in your food, it's going to help with all that. It's going to eat that sugar. So it's not going to have the same impact. It's also got a lot of fiber, particularly, like I said, if you use the whole grain. You've milled it, or you get a whole grain where it still has the bran in it. If you don't have that, you can always do the little trick and add you some oat fiber, okay? But be careful, you don't want to overdo the oat fiber. And I do not have any chia seed powder or chia seeds, but you could totally also put some chia seed powder in here if you wanted to add some more nutrition. I just don't have it, and it's the pantry challenge, so we're making do with what we got. So I've put in these chocolate chips, and we're just gonna mix this up, incorporate it. Just like so. I bet this is gonna be so yummy. I sure hope so. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead, let me put it like that. I did spray these are non-stick, but I went ahead and sprayed them with some coconut oil. I've never had a problem with the USA pan sticking, so, and I'm just gonna do 1 scoop. That worked out just perfect. Yay! So let me hit these down. And I'm gonna put these in the oven, and we're gonna bake for the remaining 15 minutes. You put in, so I'm gonna stick it in, pull it out, and you can see that. It came out clean. Yep, that's perfect. So this one was 20 minutes. Of course, that's my oven. Everybody's oven's different. They look really nice. I'll go ahead and try one down here. Yep, clean. Wonderful. All right, so you're gonna leave them in the pan for probably about 10 so minutes. And now let's check the little ones. They kind of smashed out a little on top. I'll show you. I think I overfilled them a little bit. This was nice. That worked out well. So this is the little pan. This was 15 minutes. So I don't know if those are done. So we're gonna check them. I got a new skewer, toothpick, whatever. And let's see. That's not done. So we're gonna put it back in. See, these on the outer look okay, but this isn't done yet. So we're gonna put it back in the oven, and we're gonna let it cook for the 5 more minutes. All right, so here's our little ones. I've already poked a couple just to make sure. And it comes out clean. That means they're done. Yes, some of them are flat and ran together. My kids have never cared. They still eat them. And so these are fully cooked. They need to cool for about 20 minutes. And then we will take them out and put them on my little wire rack there to let them cool longer. And once they're fully cool, we'll come back, we'll do a taste test. I'll tell you how they are. I'll eat the top of the muffin on that one, the cap, not the stump. It's a funny episode. And so this is what the bigger size looks like. You could put muffin tin liners. The ones I had did not fit. They're kind of wonky. So I just went without. All right, guys. So all the big muffins came out just fine. The little muffins, all but one came out, and I have the top. Oops. I have the top, so we're going to taste them. It's good. If you don't like pumpkin, this does not taste like pumpkin at all. I was hoping these would be a good one. I like it. I'll have to let y'all know what the boys think tomorrow. I'll leave it in the description. If you found value in this, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you're liking our content, please consider subscribing to our channel, or if you know someone who might, please share our channel. We appreciate that very much. I think that's all I have. I hope that you have a wonderful evening, morning, midday, whenever you see this. And I will see you next time. Bye!